I am so hungover. I'm so happy you gave me this, Dan, because like I literally am like I can't feel my face still.
You can have as many Mike's Hard lemonades as you want.
That's the shit I got
It
drunk
makes me
off
feel
in
like
high
a
school.
stripper, honestly.
A stripper?
I don't know why. Yeah, every time I drink this.
You're good. You're recording here and you're over there, so you're good.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Poppyverse.
Where we're talking about hangover. No,
We're both
so
really hungover.
Yes, I wonder who's
Happy
more
birthday!
hungover.
Happy early
Thank
birthday!
you.
I mean, by the time I air this, it'll be like a month
Yeah,
later.
it's my next birthday.
But it's like it's happy birthday.
Yes, thank you. 24, crazy.
I know. Yeah. Oh, what?
34.
You're not.
I survived crucifixion. That's what I call it, because when I turned 23, I was like, this is like my crucifixion year. Like, this is where I'm nailed to the cross.
That's not.
It was a rough year, but, you know, here I am resuscitating into the new
Omar's
age.
old.
Yes. How old are you?
We're not talking about me right now. We're talking about you.
No, but are you that far away?
It
How
doesn't
far are you
matter.
from?
What matters is the energy that I exude, and I have very young energy. I just invited random three people to brunch today.
And are they younger or
That's
older?
pretty. I don't know. Honestly, I just invite people places, and like
Places
it's probably
and
not a.
things.
Yeah, for everyone who's listening, today I thought it would be funny to invite like 3 different guys from Scruff to brunch. But I was just trying to make friends because I'm visiting Chicago and I'm staying at an Airbnb and I don't know anyone because me and my ex, we broke because me and David broke up. And so I'm trying to like meet people. And so I thought it would be funny. And like everyone learned that there were going to be other people there and canceled. And I was like, okay, like it doesn't have to be about like, they learned that I wasn't going to have sex and then they.
But that's a
decided-
very Chicago thing. Like, who all gonna be there?
It's boring.
It's
Have some fun. It's okay. If y'all don't like each other, oh well.
No,
we
it's
don't like
because
each other.
it's a big city, but you don't want to run into, like, especially when you don't know the person very well, and they're like, oh, there's gonna be some other friends, and they're like, oh, this could be some people I know.
It could be really fun.
Yeah,
But it could have turned into an orgy. Maybe.
It could. Now we'll never know.
Not with a heavy brunch. No.
No. Now you don't want no scruff.
But like it would have been fun to meet people.
Yeah.
Whatever. People suck. Have some fun, y'all.
There should be enough for that, like non-sexual, possibly sexual encounters.
Oh yeah.
Shortly after this, Gerardo realized that there actually is a website that does that, and then proceeded to advertise for them for free. Dumbass.
Did we?
No, there is. That's where I got the idea.
What app is it?
I mean, I get the idea from there, but I thought of it as I was doing it. I was like, oh, there's an app that does this. It's called like
Bagel or something.
I forgot something. It's like you meet up. Could you Google it, Dan? It's like a Meetup app that they set you up with like other strangers for dinner, and like you just have to put in like it asks you like your favorite, like your political view. It asks you all
like
these things.
Friends? I think I know someone who made actually a friend did an app like this, and she met this girl, and they've hang out ever since, and they do all these crazy stuff.
It's like a dinner. Yeah. It's like dinner with strangers.
Oh.
Google that. Google dinner.
Okay,
yeah,
so it's
dinner
not the
with
one
strangers.
that I was thinking.
Coffee meets bagel.
Yeah, but isn't that like Indian dating? I swear to God, no. No, let me tell you this. Here,
Omar.
Problematic. No, but I know a lot of couples that met through there, and it's usually like Indian couple, or there's like one Indian.
Oh, so you thought it was
background.
Indian dating?
Yeah, so I thought it was like an Indian because it's very like not Dracarys.
Oops.
But yeah, it's I thought it was an Indian app, and I was like, I thought the bagel was.
Did you find it?
Oh, time left. Time left.
Let me see.
There's something called time left.
Time left.
Yeah, it's like looking to meet new people.
Every Wednesday evening in your city. Yeah, that's it. Time left. And they'll like set you up. So they like, you put in like your preferences as a person, just like the things you like or don't like. And then they set you up with strangers to like have a dinner. And you have things in common and like you make friends. So I was going to do that in Dallas, but I was like, I don't think there's anyone in Dallas that I want to meet anymore. but like, but I almost did it, and so I was like, oh, like today I invited like someone hit me up, and I was like, oh, let's go to brunch, and he was like, okay, and he was like, okay, and he's like, okay, so it's like 3 people, and I was like, this is gonna be fun, but then I posted it on IG, and they all saw, and they were like, never mind, and I was like, why does everything have to be about like I love sex, everything is about sex for me, but not like sometimes it's not, and that's okay.
Or do you think did they know about the podcast? And this is a follow-up question. Do you think that like now people like if you hang out with someone and they kind of know you or know of the podcast, they'd be like, oh, I just don't want the conversation that happened here to go into the broadcast.
I mean, y'all can tell me that if I ever hang out with you, right? I mean, you too.
You're
right?
Yeah, we'll be like, this is off the record.
This is yeah, like some guy recently was like, you know, like you're not gonna talk about me on your podcast, right? And I was like, no, but like if it's something that really worries you, just tell me like, hey, I'd rather you not do that, and I'll respect that boundary.
Yeah,
especially if you're gonna fuck me. And then like yes.
I got a comment about that. Like they're like, oh, we saw, and then I was like, you were talking about this, and to them it was like for them it seemed off character to see me express myself that way, from their perception of me. But I was like, yeah, it's just because you're not the audience, and it's very respectfully, like you're not the audience. You know, I think that's also as we're doing this more.
Wait, who?
It's a friend. It's a close friend, and
so
she said like, oh, she just found it like I never heard you talk about these things, or the topics were
interesting.
But she's by no means she's conservative, but yeah, I had to like, you know, I did tell her like,
like
you're
this is not for
audience,
you,
like,
and like not everything is for you. Yeah,
like it's, you know, it's,
straight people, not everything is for you.
No offense,
right, Dan? Dan agrees. He's a progressive white male. That's really hard to find.
You're white?
Yeah.
Where were we?
Yeah, do you remember who
I'm
when
so
the
hungover.
Same. Quick question.
It hurts.
Is your head pounding?
A little bit, but the Mike's hard seltzer did help.
That's good.
It's just I'm drunk again. Like it's like you're either drunk or hungover. There's not really a way out until you're hungover.
So I have a question for you.
What?
Who taught you how to drive?
Why?
Huh? Because I had very traumatic experiences, and I find it the older, because I don't drive.
I had traumatic experience. You don't drive?
I don't. I drive the DV bikes, like the electric bikes, but I rarely ever drive. And I just got my license
but you have
at
a car.
32. No?
Oh,
No.
well, I guess in Chicago you don't really need a car. See, in Dallas you do, because if you want to go anywhere, you have to drive. And so I always like assumed that everybody else drove. Yeah. And then I went to New York and people were like, I've never touched a license in my life.
I just got mine at 33.
And I was like, I don't deserve it. I should not be touching my license.
What age did you get your license?
18.
18?
Yeah. My friend was teaching me how to drive in the Jack in the Box parking lot. And she was like, okay, now hit reverse. And I was like, okay. And she was like, okay, now like, okay, do this, do that. And then she goes, hit reverse. And I was like, okay. And I hit reverse, and I wasn't on reverse. I was on drive. And so I hit the accelerator on accident instead of the brake. And I basically squeezed a man between 2 cars.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you get in trouble? Or was he...
Well, I was like, oh my God. And you know, I ran out of the car and I like lifted, like I tried to lift it up, but I couldn't. And then like other people helped me lift the car.
So the guy was stuck in?
And move it a little bit just so he could slide out. But he was fine. Oh. Everything was fine. I got him to sign a letter of like...
of like no liability?
No liability. Oh. And then we moved on with our lives.
Nice.
And I gave him $300 because like he had to fix a dent in his truck.
Oh.
Yeah. But he went to the doctor. He said it was fine. Oh. But I did. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, accidents are scary, especially when you watch them.
I was like 16 or 17.
Oh, you were. And was this someone you?
I was like 17. I was.
Oh, okay. It's very nervous because this sounds like a pleasant driving experience. Like your mentor, the person who was teaching you. I think some of the first ones was like my mom. And it's like, dale pa allá, fíjate, ahí viene. Like,
Oh no!
it's like,
yeah,
oh my God, like
my mom was the
it's
same
just-
way, bitch. My mom was the same way,
and
and I was like, "Girl."
And then it's like they treat you like you're supposed to know what's gonna happen. And it's that this is like my biggest pet peeve when I'm driving, when somebody's like you're driving and you think you're doing everything, and and they're like, just stop. Like when they yell at you, and then it's just like that. I just want to push all the and then just like fix it, but I don't know what's going on. Like it's just the yelling in the middle of the driving that gets me like.
Yeah. See, my mom one time got really frustrated with me, and she didn't know that I squeezed a man between two cars, and like I was like,
She's next, not
because I hit I hit the car, and the car like he was about to get in it, so he was like walking by it. This is not funny, but it was like like now it's
Yeah.
funny, but it was not funny. And so like the car like slammed against this truck, and he was in between, and he was like, "Help me!" So that was traumatic.
Yeah.
And so I told my mom, I was like, she was like yelling at me, and I was like, she's like, "Why are you so scared?" And I was like, "I squeezed the man between two cars," and I started crying like a little gay boy.
Did she
And
take
she
you to
was like-
jail, to the police?
Oh. No, my mom was like really like whatever. Like she was just like, "Oh, okay."
She's like, we all ran over someone at some point. I've gotten
I
hit.
didn't run over him. Let that be on record. I did not run over a man. I pinned him between two cars gently because he was fine. It wasn't like I crushed his like legs or anything.
Very gentle.
I
that
just
you had
I
to
think
lift the car.
the way you word that
Yeah.
is very.
It's very aggressive or charged. I
It should
say.
be like. I don't want to go to jail. I'm a really
Yeah.
terrible driver. How are you at driving?
I think I'm a good driver. People think I'm a terrible driver because they never see me drive, or because
I'm like a really
Yeah.
gay driver. Like, I'm
when
terrible.
are you like one hand?
I'm a gay driver, so I'm terrible at it. Sometimes I'm either really terrible or I'm really safe and
Yeah.
slow. There's like not much in between there.
I'm clumsy.
Yeah. How was your license?
Oh, so I failed like twice the exam.
You failed twice.
This is like 33. It's embarrassing. I just never had the need to drive. But yeah, I failed it the first time. I failed it because I passed over something or you had to like look in a certain way in that intersection. But also the first and the second time I had the same instructor or person, and it was an Indian guy with an Indian accent talking to me in Spanish. Because he's like, oh, where is that from? And I was like, he saw my last name. He's like, where's that from? And I was like, well, it's not like a super Mexican last name, but I said, I'm from Mexico. And then he's like, oh, qué bueno. Vamos a hacer el examen. But imagine that. Imagine a Mexican accent with an Indian accent on top. So
Was
it
he
was
cute?
like,
Was he
no,
cute?
he was like 70 sharp as whatever
Oh, yeah.
is sharp. But it was really, so when he was giving me the instructions, I was like trying to translate what he said in Spanish to English. It was crazy. So I was like, I felt. Then the second time, I did something else too. Like he asked me like, if you're on a hill and how do you park and where do you turn the wheels? And I was like, that was the weirdest.
Why did they ask you
And
that?
people were like, everybody told me for years because they were like, you don't have a license? I was like, tengo la licencia de Dios. And God's license. Also, I used to. I'm
So
a little,
you drove without a license for a long time?
He did. He drove without a license for a long time.
like in a parking lot practicing
criminal.
with someone and I had a permit.
So
So I'm a bad driver, but yeah, I failed it twice, and then the last time they said, he was like, but it's fine, just remember that you have to, like, if you're on a hill, you have to turn the wheel this way and put this brake and something like that. And I'm like, I'm in the Midwest. There's not a fucking hill and 200
that's
miles
true.
away.
I thought Dallas was flat, but Chicago's like really flat.
Yeah. The first time was because I didn't check like I failed it from the get go. So
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
just like, just go around.
He was
and,
like, we're
we'll
done.
try it again.
We're not.
Yeah,
having
he was like, no.
He's like, my Spanish is better than your driving.
Yeah.
That's
Well, let's just say everybody told me, they're like, you don't need to study. You just need to like remember the pictures. All you need to do is the pictures. Everything else is common sense. And then the guy is like, if you're on a hill and it's a sunny day and there's like the weather is at this and you're wearing,
That's so funny.
I got this
No,
guy
my
was
mom
doing
was like, you need to study.
Yeah. The second time, actually, when I went to take the test, I forgot why. I think I didn't have, the person that was taking me didn't have a license or insurance or something. So I didn't get to do the test. And then it was the question about the hill. And then they gave me the license and I was just like, wow, finally.
Okay, so for me, I failed the first time. And it was really funny because like I was doing everything right. And then she was like, merge to your left. And I'm like, I hit the light and there was like another car coming behind me. And so like I thought that he saw my light and he would slow down. Well, that motherfucker decided to speed up. So when he sped up, I was like, oh, and she was like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, turn left here. And we turned left and then like we turned left again. And then she's like, okay, now you're going to get to the street. You're going to turn right and you're going to go straight to the building. And I was like, okay. And so I was like, I turned right and she was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And I was like, oh my God. Like, it's not that serious, lady. And she was just like, and then I went over the train tracks really fast. She was like,
What is that movie?
And then she was just like, and I was like, I'm sorry. And she was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like,
Composure, lady. What is she
and
like?
I was like, I'm sorry, authority intimidates me. And she was like, honey, you can't be doing that. And I was like, was this like country lady?
Was
And
she
I was
like, you little Rapido and Furioso?
she probably voted for Trump or something. And she was like, honey, you can't be doing that. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And then whatever, I failed. And then the next day I went back and I got this other older lady and she's like driving with me. So it was my birthday the next day, right? So I went back and I was like,
it's my birthday.
I was like, she was like, okay, oh, October 20th, happy birthday. And I was like, thank you. And then we did the whole test and then at the end she goes, she looked at me, she was like,
be careful.
Promise me you'll be careful. And I was like, I promise. And she's like, okay, let me see where I can add a point. And I was like,
it's like, birthday boy.
And then she like looked through it, she like added up, she made a like an adjustment. She goes, congratulations, you passed. And I was like, thank you. And she was like, okay. Little did she know, I'm a terrible driver. I shouldn't have a license.
What if it was her dad at the Jack in the Box?
Speaking of that,
You know what? Like,
no, it wasn't. Speaking of though, dads, did you ever help your daddy with his like? Did you ever help your pa?
yeah, like pass
his
around.
truck?
But like,
Did you ever help your dad with his car?
yeah, but he'd be like, pásame el wrench o como se llame or whatever they call la tuerca
Yeah.
or whatever, and I've just grabbed whatever was closest because I
See,
did not know.
And he didn't yell at
And
you.
my family, like, there's a lot of mechanics in my family, and so it was kind of like, I was like I must have been an
But he
embarrassment.
didn't yell at you. He never yelled.
No, like the driving. No. My mom did yell at me like when teaching me how to drive. But actually, and I'll say this: like they say that
Damn.
like it's the country where there's the most freedom. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I was driving like at 7 or 10 in Mexico, like a moped, and like my uncle would let me drive the truck. But I'm kind of dyslexic, so I thought the D was for
Dick.
despacito.
Oh.
And the R was for recio, which means
Sorry.
fast. So it's like
Oh.
reverse and drive. And I thought it was like, yeah, so. That was really
But
bad.
no, yeah, you're right. Actually, that's a good point. Like a lot of people say, America's so free, but there's a lot of things you can do in like Mexico that you can't
No,
do
and
in
like
America.
the crazy amount of it's such a
It's like
such a business here also, like
Yeah.
just putting tickets and getting people.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
But-
it costs more money to be
Yeah.
poor here than it does to be rich.
Yeah.
In Colombia, one of the things David told me is that in Colombia, a lot of the in Colombia you have like different they charge you a ticket according to your income level.
Oh yes, I heard.
So if you are, depending on how much you make a year, depends on how much you owe. If you're richer, you have to pay more money, which would make more sense. But in the United States, they don't care about poor people. They'd rather you continue to struggle than to charge rich people anything other than like, yeah. So
But did your dad yell at you?
my dad did yell at me. Yeah.
I know how to.
Anytime he was like, "Pásame la blah 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 blah," and I'd be like, ¿cuál es? And he's like, "Allá está, es esa."
Oh my god!
And
But
then-
that's like a mom thing, no? Like
Yeah, no, my dad.
la tienes en las
but
narices.
my dad would yell about everything. My dad was always yelling. He was like yelling about. He would yell about everything. So, and I was this little gay boy, and I was like, I don't want to do manual labor. Someone save me from this life, because I thought that was the only option. But now that now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, I'm just taking you to mechanic. I'm not touching tools.
That's very gay of you.
I'm not.
You're like
I did date a guy.
mechanic.
I did go on dates with a guy who was a mechanic. That was heaven.
It's hot.
Because he could just help you. Yeah, it was hot. Like, I had a rental because my car was down and and I scratched it and he helped me hide the scratch.
That's a fun, yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you know about cars?
They exist.
Same, like
They exist.
yeah, like when
I'm
people
as gay as it gets when it comes to cars. Like, I know they exist. I know they make noises. And
Brum,
sometimes
brum.
those noises aren't good. I also know that, like, I know how to change a tire, but I learned that in, like, I learned that in, like, 25 is when I learned how to change a tire.
let me tell you how embarrassing it is.
When did you learn how to change a tire?
Not yet. I haven't actually. The car, I once the car broke down, and my sister had to come help me, and she's like switching wires and pulling out strings and checking acidity, like pH. I don't know, oil, whatever, diesel. What is it?
Your sister does all
My
that?
sister was doing that.
Damn.
And then she said something about like,
Damn,
oh,
we're-
you can clean the battery. You should throw soda on it. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, apparently the rust on the battery can be cleaned.
Yeah,
by
yeah,
and I was
I
like,
learned that too, yeah.
crazy.
And your sister taught you all this?
She taught me all that. My brothers know how to change oil.
I don't know. I mean, the fact that your sister taught you all that, it's like, damn, we're
Yeah.
gay. We're definitely gay.
Yeah. No, it's a very gay thing
We're
to just
gay.
be like,
because I had no idea. I don't even change my own oil. I can't.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's-
how to do that.
and to all the gay
If
men.
you change my oil for me, if you ever offer to do that, not only will I have sex with you, I might marry you. I might, depending on your attachment style. Like, I might love you. Yeah. I think that's hot, right?
Yeah, but that's
Whenever
a-
men are like, let me get in this car, and they get their hands all dirty, and you just
Yeah.
want them to slap your ass and leave the mark with them. Yeah.
Well,
It's
it's
sexy.
sexy when people don't know how to do things and fix things. And for me, it's cooking.
Yeah.
But I will give advice.
For me, it's therapy. Like, I
Yeah.
love a man that can fix my
It's
mental
like,
health.
yeah, like fix your emotion. Yeah,
Fix me.
it's
Just
like
kidding.
Gerardo was not kidding, he needs help. And unfortunately, no one can help him.
I'm gonna unpack your trauma. Yeah,
That's a lot.
This
to
is
unpack.
advice for all the gay men driving who don't know shit about cars. If you're gonna go to the mechanic, take one of your hot girlfriends and say it's for her.
But what if the mechanic does something wrong and keep her coming back? Have you ever thought of that? You didn't.
I don't think
That would be smart.
Well, I would, but usually once if you take your car for something and then turns out it has something else, that's when people are like, okay, cutting you off. I don't know, but try. Take a hot girl with you. Take one of your hot girlfriends, and if
Have
you're
you had sex in a car?
define sex. No.
So, like, anything,
I have, yeah.
anything.
Yeah,
Anything.
I have.
Sexual.
Yeah, and
You've given roadhead? Have
Huh?
you given roadhead?
no.
Be honest.
No, because
You've never done that?
no. I just
I've done that.
you have.
It's really uncomfortable. And, like, if someone's giving me roadhead, like, I'm driving.
I couldn't focus.
If I'm driving and you're giving me head oral, it's just like, it's like I can't come because I can't concentrate.
You can, yeah.
And it's like I want to enjoy it, so I'm not a big fan of it. I will say that the first time I got complimented on how good I give head, it was with my first boyfriend, and I was giving him road head. Because I had never given him head before, and I guess he thought it would be romantic to do it in the car the first time while he was driving. It wasn't. But like, yeah, and he was like, he had to pull over to finish, and he was like, you've never given head before? And I was like, no. And he was like, you're lying. And he got mad, and I was like, no, I haven't.
He thought you were like...
And he was like, you're really good at that. And he was like, you're lying to me. And I was like, I'm not. And he never believed me to this day.
I could see why he would doubt it if he thought it was great.
You have to be a good partner.
Some people out there are lying about, like, I've never done this. Like, have you ever had a top who turns around and is like, oh, I guess I would let you hit it. And then it's like, you liar. Like, have you ever gotten top fish? Top fish?
Top fish?
Yeah.
Top fish.
Like, oh, I'm a top, I'm gonna do this, and then then they're like, well, I'll let you try it.
I'll let you top
be
me.
my first.
I've never bought him before. And they're like, their whole is like, yeah. It's like you could just like throw yourself in there.
Yeah, just dive into it.
Yeah, you could like cave dive in there, explore it, get stuck in there.
My sister drives like a truck driver. I always say, que parece
is
Lola la
your
trailera.
sister a lesbian?
No. She's
She's just more manly
está
than you.
Empoderada. No, she's just very like she doesn't need him. She's amazing.
She's like, Omar,
she's
can
the
kick
man
your
that I
ass.
should be. Not
Yeah,
just
she
kidding.
is.
No, but she does have. She's not like. She is feminine and she's girly, but she's also very like, oh, I'll just change the oil myself. Like she's very out with myself.
Yeah, I wish I could have that kind of like.
But she drives like you,
tenacity.
like a truck driver. And like when you were driving, I was in the back.
I don't drive like a truck.
I was like a cat holding on to wherever. And no, seriously. And
I don't drive like a truck driver.
Let's record that.
Okay.
We'll let the public decide.
Fine, whatever. But I gave you a ride, didn't I?
Yeah, a ride for my life.
Did you die? You didn't. Exactly.
Something died in me
Problem
that day.
solved. Issue fixed. No one died. Everyone made it home safely. The car might have some issues in the future, but that's about it.
I like how that's your like test. I'm like, I know how to drive. You didn't die. No, but honestly, you haven't. I've never driven you. So to be fair, we're probably the same. I just think you go faster.
Wait, go back to the sex in cars. You've never bottomed in a car. You've never topped in a car. You've never given head in a car, gotten head in a car while parked or
I've
like.
I've never
anywhere?
done that. No, I have. No, I'll tell you. I not while the car was going on, but in a car, yeah.
See, for me, okay, so I've had sex in a car multiple times, especially when I was like in my late, like 18, 19, 17, 16. 16. Yeah, it definitely happened in 16. But I was like, I was like topping, I was bottoming, and then it wasn't the most comfortable. I've given head in a car a lot, especially in the back seat, because there was this one DL guy that would always hit me up, and he didn't want to come to my house, and he didn't want me to go to his house. He wanted to find like an alley.
That's a thing, right? Car fun.
Yeah.
Car play, car fun.
He was like, he just didn't want to like anyone to see him other than my car. So yeah, there was another DL guy sucked off in the back seat of my car, and with him actually,
like, where do you park?
With him, I like slipped he wanted me to eat his ass, and so I.
And you're like, let me check the oil.
I slipped. I ate his ass, and then I kept sucking his dick, and then I slipped my finger in as he was coming, and it changed his life. It's like he was like, oh my God. Like he was like, I have never felt that. And then eventually we kept meeting up and it progressed to me like hand. Sliding in. But he didn't want me to like fuck. He just wanted me to slide my cock in. Oh. Yeah. And
semi-fuck.
Then that's how it started. That's one of my car stories.
Semi-fuck in a semi-truck. That's funny.
No, it wasn't. It was in my bed at that point. Like we moved to my room.
Oh, okay.
Eventually.
Well, at least
yeah.
because
But there was another one that would only.
you
do
need
it
a
in the
license
car.
for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Stick shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is the maintenance for your car? Like, what kind of gay money are you spending on this car?
Girl, I'm really bad at maintenance in my car. I'm really bad at washing my car. Here's the thing about cars, okay? I don't think that cars are that important. And I know that that's like a big, like, it's a big thing for like people in society. It's like you have to have a nice car. You get a scratch, you get pissed off. But for me, I don't like cars in general. I don't define myself by like the car that I have. I don't think it says anything about me or my status. I don't judge people depending on the car they have. Like, I think it's really fucking stupid, and like I think it's like really like it's so like superficial. I hate when people define, even by clothes.
Yeah.
I hate it when people define themselves by anything they have. And so like with cars, I've always hated them. And my mom would be like, "You got another scratch? You hit another wall? You like scratch? You like backed into another pole?" And I was like, "Yeah, because I don't give a fuck." But like, it's usually when I'm by myself. I care when I have people. Okay.
And this is when Omar knew he was lucky to have survived in a car with Gerardo. And he will never be in another one with him again.
Remember the time that we were doing the episode and I had like I was talking like
busted
this?
lip, yeah.
Because I was driving the bike and I slipped. But then there was another episode that I got hit by a car. And the guy, so I was like, I was on the.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that. We didn't tell y'all, but he got hit by a car.
So I got hit. I'm in the bus lane, which no car should be nearby. And then this car kind of moved into the bike lane, didn't see me. And I just remember like rolling. And all of a sudden I'm on the floor and the guy gets off his car and he's like, "Do you not see where you're going?" And then I'm like checking like my teeth, like, okay, I can feel my legs. And then I'm like, "You fucking asshole, like I'm alive, thank you for asking."
Omar got ran over.
Yeah. I was more offended, not by the hit, because for all I know, he could have been texting or, it happened. Stop texting and driving.
Oh my God, I met this guy that was on his bike and he got hit by an Amazon truck. A million.
Oh my God.
$1 million. He's he wanted to open a hotel in Puerto Vallarta.
Oh.
Yeah, he has a house in LA now. He's set up. I was like, damn, but his body's kind of fucked up. But like,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, so you have to trade one thing
Yeah.
for the other. Yeah.
See, I was just happy. I was like, I have all my teeth, and and I'll say this: I've seen a lot of accidents because I drive the bike all around the city.
Yeah.
Because it's just easier, and you just drop it, no tickets, no nothing. And the amount of drivers that I see texting and driving or like not looking at the road, like
I know people who are on Grindr while they drive. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about people.
people, places, and things. Broom, broom. Go off. I have a few questions. I just wanted to do a this or that with you, just because I wanted to see how much do I know you. Road rage or roadhead? Oh my
Both.
God, really?
Yes.
I would have thought you would go for
I want
road
to
rage.
road rage while I'm getting head.
It's so good when you're like, somebody cuts you off and you're like, you fucking like.
Yeah. I just
Such
think
a
about
release.
I just think about my parents and all the trauma they caused me, and I just let it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's no violence, but like, oh my God, like somebody cuts you off or something and you're just like, are you fucking blind? Or, it's like therapy. Hit and run or drive-by? You know what a
That's
drive-by is?
dark.
No, like a hit and, I'm talking like in a sex, are you familiar with the sex terms? Like hit and run, you never see them again. A drive-by is someone you go regularly and...
Drive-by.
Okay. Hot Wheels
Oh
or
my
Wheels?
God, I thought you were talking about killing people. I was
No.
like, damn, Omar, you didn't have to take it there.
You
This
never
is
shot
not that kind of
anybody?
podcast.
Kidding. I haven't shot anyone. Yeah. Hot Wheels or Meals on Wheels?
Ooh, that's a good one. Meals on Wheels. I love food.
Yeah. Did you grow up with Hot Wheels? Like, would you play with cars?
I grew... No, not really.
You didn't?
My parents are really cheap. They never wanted to buy me brand name toys. It was always like... It was like cold wheels, you know?
Oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
that's funny. Stick or automatic?
Um,
Have you driven
ooh, I
both?
love a good stick.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, I don't know how to drive that.
No?
But I was talking about penis.
Oh,
In case y'all didn't get it.
automatic. Yeah. Yeah.
Can I go now?
Yeah.
Okay, eating ass or getting your dick sucked in a car?
I'm eating ass in a car? No.
Or getting your dick sucked?
No, I'm. Yeah.
Getting your dick sucked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it. Yeah, no, it.
Okay. Coming inside or outside in a car?
Outside.
Okay.
If it's my car, I don't have a car. But if I had a car, I'd be
Okay.
like not in my seats.
Okay. A drag queen or a politician in your car?
What's the difference?
Well, you have to give them a ride to where they're going.
Oh, ooh. I would say. Oh, this is a tough one because I feel like.
Yeah, I know. I'm totally going to judge you if you pick the wrong one.
Oh, honestly, I would say a politician.
The correct answer was a drag queen.
You know how distracting that ride is gonna be. I'm going by my life. Like it'd be more entertaining, but I'll probably be like, "Ooh, who did your last?" And then
Okay,
we're done.
fine. Okay, so you're driving your car and the brakes are cut. And you have to there's a woman crossing the street with a baby in her carriage on one side. And then there's a teenager with his dog on the other.
A woman and a baby.
What? You would run over them?
She
If
already
you had to pick-
experienced motherhood. The teenage has the dog. That's like 2 crimes: animal cruelty and child endangerment.
But what about the baby?
Doesn't know how to talk
Oh
yet.
my God.
Well, I have to make a choice.
I would just yeah, you're right. You do. You don't
And-
really have a choice.
And
It's
you know,
one or the other.
And this is
I'm happy I didn't have to answer that question. I'd cry.
Well, I just think. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna pick animals over anyone.
I'm so dead. Some mechanics are so hot. Oh my God.
Do you like the
Sometimes I
hands?
just want to go to the mechanic just to look
The
at the
diesel
mechanic.
hands.
Huh?
The diesel hands.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to look at the mechanic. I don't even want to go to fix my car. I want him to fix something else.
Change your wheels.
Those
No, align
nasty,
your wheels.
dirty
Yeah.
hands.
Have you said a mechanic? You
And that
once dated?
smelly crotch.
You once. Oh, I'm sorry. No.
Ugh, this is so good.
Diesel. I grew up around. I grew up around Talleres, so it's like the smells.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
And you never
the
learned anything?
No, my dad always. I think this is how I
Wow,
know my
Omar.
dad knew I was gay because he kind of always.
He was like you're not learning.
No, he's like you're gonna work with your brain. No, he I guess
That's better than my dad. My dad was like, I don't know what you're gonna do with your
no,
life.
he was artistic. Also, I didn't know this until later in life, but he was actually a great drawer, and I was always very artistic too. So he always encouraged me to work
that's
with my
cool.
mind. He
Yeah.
said, "You're not gonna."
I wish my dad encouraged me to work with my mind more.
Yeah. He said "Oh, this is
But
you're
no.
not gonna work hard. You're gonna work."
He made
smart."
me work, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very Mexican man thing, make people work.
Yeah, but I did do a lot of manual labor. Like I did construction. I did help around the shop.
Yeah.
Soldering stuff too. That was fun.
That's a whole conversation. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that another time. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, y'all.
Thank you for joining
Thank you
us
so
on this
much
ride.
for joining us. Thank you for following, for liking, for doing anything you do to support us, whether it's watching reels, watching the YouTube videos, or listening to the podcast. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow Omar at what is it, Biggie Smalls?
Biggie_Smalls LLS.
Yes. Or he's tagged in the videos on the IG or TikTok. And
And I'm follow Javi.
I'm
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Not that. You can follow me at Gera del Sur. Follow the Puppyverse at the Puppyverse, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And leave us a comment telling us how much you love us.
Yeah, tell us your experience. Tell us what kind
Make
of
me
cars
feel
you
better
drive.
about my problems.
Yeah, your failing test experiences.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.